right, everyone, welcome back to Return versus Resist Gaming in the round of 16. We're all getting ready to go here as the players are hopping up into the match, and I'm certainly excited to see whether Resist or Return can make a big showing today. They've kind of been on the cusp for the last few weeks.
That's right. The winner, actually, of that match will also go on to fight either Team Redtail or top-seeded Team Dignitas. So a definitely rough bracket. You're going to see Resist go over Men's Warehouse, which, from my knowledge, was a pretty close game. If Resist is able to get through Return as well, a seed higher, then they'll go into Team Dignitas. So one of the hardest brackets of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very tough for these newer teams to come in, even with the random seeding, or for the bottom teams, that it's tough to kind of run up against that big team in the early stages, getting knocked out. It also is something humbling and something you can learn from as well. And I think the people that are the most quick to adapt and are also the fastest to learn are the ones that grow the fastest. And we saw Worth just come out of nowhere, and they were just so quick to practice. And when you look at a team and you can really feel their preparation, that's when you know they're ready to move on.
I've actually been talking about Worth versus Cloud9 from a few weeks ago as a major point to all teams out there. They were down, and I'll never forget this, they were down 3 kills, 3 Tier 1 towers, 2 Gold Furies, and a Fire Giant. They lost all of those things at 12 minutes.
That's right.
And they were only down 3,600 gold.
And that just comes out of fundamentals. You keep focused on what's happening. Something we saw from the East vs. West show match as well. I mean, World Elite was matching TSM blow for blow. The kills were even, but obviously TSM was more experienced in controlling their gold farm and making sure their experience and gold were capped out, whereas World Elite was spending a lot of time rotating, looking for ganks and setting up, and less time keeping the farm up. And over time, the graphs kind of split up. But I mean, even with the gold difference, World Elite was still going blow for blow, but you have to have that backup foundation that allows you to keep your gold up.
What I loved from World Elite is the Thor play. I mean, coming out from Myth, you really saw that his fundamentals were top-notch. And I think as we see time go on, teams from China and Brazil and Latin America are really going to start to shine in those teamfight areas. I mean, that's one thing we've seen in other games in pretty much any other esport and any other genre, is that when it comes down to it, China's fundamentals have always been extremely sound.
Oh, absolutely, especially in games where gold makes a big difference. And, we see the second China entered into the Dota 2 scene, everything got flipped on its head. And so that's what we're possibly going to be seeing here. And I think it's the biggest thing that, North American and European teams have to prepare themselves for, is the fact that the world is now open to Smite. We're going to see multiple regions, multiple continents, and multiple player sets coming into the match. And, when we finally make it all the way to the international in January, we have the Smite World Championship ready to go. They got to be prepared for it.
I'm so excited for Worlds. I mean, just being able to see all of these different regions finally come together. Now, we saw, like you talked about, Team Dignitas, TSM, and China playoff, but again, China is still very, very new to the game.
That's right. Absolutely. I mean, it's hard to exchange 2 years of practice for 1 month of practice. And, here we're going to see exactly how that grows. As Resist and Return are some of the newer teams, but certainly have a good history behind their belts. Scylla, Aphrodite, and Osiris all banned out here. Resist has one more ban to make, and then Return will be making a pick.
So, Resist on the right side here. Scylla, Zhonghui can be banned out. I like the Osiris ban, a character I don't think is they're going to opt into Apollo very quickly.
Hercules, Hunbots, Poseidon.
This could be Hercules, Hunbots.
Kumbhakarn.
This is a nightmare.
It's Thor. I mean, there's so many other characters on the board. I mean, Osiris is definitely a sleeper, doing very, very well.
I think
the biggest
Osiris
thing is that
is
level 1,
amazing.
level 2 invasions by him are just absolutely insane. If he can hit that double combo, getting level 2 at any point, that slow is so detrimental, and he just hits so hard, especially with the fact that a lot of characters in this game rely on their healing potential, which if you use Lords of the Afterlife, all of a sudden you can't heal at all.
That on top of the fact that he has insane damage mitigate, that's a hover onto Mercury.
Kumbhakarna.
Lock of Kumbhakarna and a lock of Mercury. Okay, so option back over to Return with Herc, Hunbots still on the board.
Now, let's clarify this for a little bit for the viewers that are at home. DM and I are not devaluing Mercury. We're not devaluing Apollo.
No, I am.
We're basically looking at this and saying,
I'm sorry. I devalue Mercury.
I am not devaluing Mercury. I'm not devaluing Apollo. It's the progression of the picks. It's that these characters are not the characters you generally see being picked first or prioritized the highest. Now, they get picked later because they definitely have potential to be competitive. It's just it leaves other characters available here. So Agni and Hercules picked up. Hercules got picked 4th in this game, and then Chang'e is going to be picked up here as well. It's interesting, right? Because Chang'e is being picked before their soul laner may have been locked in.
I love Chang'e. I love her. I think her damage potential is ridiculous. Her healing potential is okay, but her team fight presence is unreal. Her ability to bait is bar none the strongest in the game. Going up against Hercules, she still has a matchup that's winnable. I mean, she's going to be able to really control and push him out if he goes into the solo lane, if he goes into jungle. She has really strong bait avoidance or gank avoidance coming out. So Ban's final up here, it looks like going to be Poseidon and, yeah, Thor taking off the board. Scylla, still not going to, I don't think we're going to see any Scylla today.
I like the fact that they banned Poseidon when they already had Agni, they banned Thor when they already had Mercury, so that kind of progression is there, which is interesting, right, because Hoombots is still available, and so I imagine Return would just go into Hoombots for their jungle role. The Hunter across the way, Resist has a lot of options available. Really, you can play almost any Hunter in the game right now. The depth in the Hunter charts are so amazing. Artemis is going to be selected here to go with Kumbhakarn, and Kumbhakarn and Artemis actually works quite fantastically together. They're going to select Bakasura and then Athena here. So Bakasura is a character that can work well. Now, granted, this could be any number of ways. Hercules support, Bakasura jungle, Athena jungle, Bakasura solo. They could go Hercules solo, Athena jungle, Bakasura anywhere. I mean, there's a lot of things they could do here with those three characters to go anywhere, and they did it! I'm happy. I just want to see it. I want to see Janus.
You know, a lot of people are discrediting Janus right now, or Janus. He has very good damage potential. One of the highest damaging abilities in the game, of course, with Unstable Vortex. And with a team of Kumbhakarna Chang'e, I mean, that damage is going to be very easily accessed. I think this is a smart pick, but they're going to have to be very careful in the early game. He is likely the easiest god to gank in the mid lane. He's incredibly slow. The portal just doesn't do what you need it to do, especially against characters like Hercules and Bakasura. I have a question. I have not tested this. I've never thought to test this until right now. Bakasura has a cripple. Will cripple stop him from going through his own portal?
No,
against a wall?
I don't think it does. No, I don't think it does. I think he'll be able to jump through that quite easily. And one thing we do have to mention as well is Janus had a couple changes to him. Number one, his ultimate gives him CC immunity. It gives him the ability to move during the channel. The channel duration is still a very mind-splitting 1.5 seconds, but at the same time, they have updated the Unstable Vortex to allow people to fall into it if they're dashing. And so that means characters like Mercury, across the way you have Apollo who dash across it, would fall into it now, who previously could dash over it. So a lot of combo potential there, but you're exactly right. When you look at characters like Janus or Habwa in the mid lane, the first thing you think is, hey, let's go kill them, because they're slow and they're very squishy and they don't really have a very useful or reliable escape mechanism. Now, granted, Janus has a lot of mobility in his kit, but generally isn't considered one of the most highly mobile gods until mid and late game when he has low cooldowns and, of course, has the ability to move around with that threshold there. So, early on, Janus is definitely an interesting character to watch, but you're exactly right. They have the combo potential there. I mean, you have Mercury to set up the kills with the ultimate or the special delivery, Kumbhakarn with the ultimate himself, or, of course, the slow, the sleep. I mean, Janus has a lot of help here in setting up his burst damage, and if both those balls collide at once and he gets an ultimate off, especially if he goes through a portal first or over a threshold, the damage is insane.
Well, guys, we're going to be getting into our round of 16 with Return and Resist, fighting for 8th, maybe even possibly the 7th seed slot, depending on how the next round goes for the winner. We're going to be cutting to a quick break while we get the game set up, and of course, we'll be right back with the Smite World Championships. Stick around.
All right, welcome back, everybody. The start of the round of 16. The matchup for today is going to be Return versus Resist Gaming. The picks aren't interesting here. We have Bakasura. We also have Janus coming out strong today, and Chang'e, who's going to be playing in the solo lane. A very strong lineup from both teams, and I think a lot of things to watch.
So this time it looks like only one Watcher's Gift per team. It looks like we are going to see Penyama playing that support. Homie Fee, it looks like he could... Oh, we got a big push here. Looks like Agni is going to be able to dash out Cloud, just barely getting out of there. That was kind of lucky.
Mercury started Mage and Look instead of special delivery there, going in.
Never pick your ability.
It wasn't a guaranteed kill, granted, so maybe he's not willing to risk it. Maybe they're just looking to clear out the round of 16 and not have a blunder in the beginning, especially as a jungler there. So there is reason for it, but at the same time, you never pick your ability unless you're just one of those characters that has one ability that you pick in the beginning. It's your end-all, be-all ability. There's very few of those, so generally you just sit with that point, wait for an opportunity to present itself, and pick the ability you need for that situation. But Major Look was not going to help in that situation.
No, it was not. But it looks like everyone is safe and sound for at least right now. You see Famous 8 in the bottom side with the wacky wailing inflatable flailing arm tube man getting ready to get for that blue buff. Right side, normal camp start. Looks like normal top side speed. There is a ward up there covering Skeledon's progression. But, I mean, really, I don't see too much trouble on any side. It looks like everyone's uncontested for now.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's kind of going down the right path, making sure everything is standard and set to go. And it seems like no one's really making any risks or taking any risks overall. Going to the blue buff on the right side will be the solo laner and the jungler for return. It's going to be Bakasura over there to clear that one out. Mid lane is getting quite aggressive here as Giannis seems to be keeping up quite effectively, actually. See if he can actually throw this out here. Cloud is pushing pretty aggressively. There's the Unstable Vortex to force him away.
So I'm looking at the Janus, and I'm thinking to myself, if Cloud gets caught by a portal, the damage could be big. But he can't really afford to use the portal Unstable Vortex combo, otherwise he's not going to be able to clear the wave, especially against an Agni who could just dash and clear that thing instantly.
Well, at the same time, you really have to think about it. You know, Janus is very similar to Agni in the way that we do see some initiation on the mid lane, forcing him away. It looks like that's going to be canceled. That was the left side. That's actually initiating here as well. Right side fighting together. Everyone's going aggressive on all cylinders, pushing it back over the right lane. Looks like they're going to back off here. But what I was trying to say there is, Janus and Agni are very similar in the way that, you know, you want to save that dash, you want to save that portal, keep yourself alive.
Wait, Drybear right side. Skeleton has a line here. Could go for either one. Special delivery. This is going to be first blood.
And the Earthbreaker was going to miss there, so could not prevent it from dashing forward. And honestly, that was just Bakasura getting too far forward and getting punished for it. So just very easy pickup.
Have I ever talked to you about how much I love Chang'e?
No. If you did, it was probably on Sunday.
So we're going to see more pressure. Homie Fee in a lot of trouble in the solo lane, constantly under his tower here. He's trying to get as much gold as possible. He actually does manage to clear up at least most of those and then activating Mitigate Wounds to get a very small amount of his health back, as we do see a semi-invasion coming out, but you can't really steal away from Bakasura.
Mid lane pushed up here. Bakasura going to clear out that movement speed buff, head over to the left side of the lane. Chang'e is trying to defend this lane the best that she can. Hercules actually going to clear it out with Hand of the Gods and head on back towards his tower. It looks like Mitigate Wounds was activated, but no one was attacking him. Left side looking for initiation. The taunt from the team is going to come out here. The sleep's not going to land. Bakasura's in the air. A good sleep forcing them away. And then this is just more time Bakasura is spending away from farm.
Kumbhakarna looks hard. That looked really difficult. Wiggles
away.
again hitting by special delivery. He's going to be rooted. He's going to be shut down. And for the second time this game, he will be dead.
He's going down a very slippery slope here, DM. I think everyone that's played jungle has been in this situation at least once in their lifetime where you lose out in the early stage and you just keep making risky calls that don't pay off, and eventually you just fall very far behind. We're going to see Bakasura get into that route right now. He picked up the movement speed buff and went over to the left lane trying to get initiation, but again, this is kind of the jungler's curse where if you spend a lot of time setting up ganks and get none of them, you're going to have so little gold and so little experience you can't compete.
Speaking of ganks, Unstable Vortex is going to go up. He saves the special delivery, but for too long and gets stunned out. It looks like Cloud will be able to escape, but at this point, Skeleton sitting pretty still at 1-0-1 and top farm in the game.
Now we're seeing Giannis actually get a lot of good farm here in the mid lane, uncontested, unpushed out, and getting a lot of control. I'm curious to see how he's going to build this character and see how he wants to progress it through. He does have that early trinket start, so that could go a lot of ways.
I'm looking over at the solo lane again, where Homie Fee is attempting to back repeatedly, but Rafiki is just not allowing him. Boulder going to be thrown out here, and he will escape back to his tower. This time it looks like Chang'e's going to let him go. Into the mid lane again, Wiggles, poor guy, out of position. The cripple, in fact, does not... What happened there?
Did he trip? Trip on something? Is the floor wet? Mercury's having trouble getting on Bakasura. I'm not sure what that was exactly, but it looks like he's going to get some weird stutter step and going back to tower to save. And Bakasura was at a decent amount of HP, so could have gotten out of tower possibly, but they're going to back off from that one. They are sitting 2-0. First and second blood went their way, so they're sitting pretty on resist right now, hoping to push this forward.
Yeah, all the buffs are about to start respawning. You see the 4-minute mark about to hit. All those timers are about to tick over. The blue buffs generally are all about to respawn. You see the speed up on the right side and the red up on the left or right side as well, all about to come back. This is big pressure here also. Wiggles trying to get some damage done. Rafiki could be in some trouble here. Look at the damage she does. Here comes Mercury. This could be trouble. Just barely getting away. Special delivery not going to hit. Major Look could do it. He's one hit away, and he's going to die for it, Drybear.
He doesn't have a dash to get out either. He already used that one, taking a lot of damage in the process. There's the threshold looking for the hit. Gonna get it there. Clumsy Death striking it. And that, folks, is a very difficult ability to hit.
Major rotation coming in. Mr. Wiggle is going to look for something. I don't know if he has really the opportunity to go this deep. The ultimate is not available, so he doesn't have those ranged attacks, meaning every point of damage he does has to be in melee range.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's very difficult to expose yourself like that, taking a lot of damage in the process. Of course, going to be able to force that away. Unstable Vortex, though, getting that kill. Hercules will go down. It seems like Clumsy Death is controlling the space he needs and actually getting a little bit of gold in his favor in the process. Chunga did end up going for that Divine Ruin to finish. Now the boots are coming out as well. It's going to prevent a lot of the healing done by Hercules. Boxer in the jungle still having trouble, though, has yet to finish the boots.
You know, the Divine Ruin does a lot of things here, because if you consider what Mitigate Wounds actually gives you, I mean, Divine Ruin can basically shut down the entire process, ensuring that he's instead of getting, hundreds, maybe thousands of health back, he's going to be getting somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 60, especially even in the early parts. Rafiki is just not troubled by this, though I really would have rather seen a breastplate here. By him getting the breastplate, he could have deterred the damage from both Hercules and Mr. Wiggles, so it looks like he's going for more of a aggressive route. From that point, we really need to see Mr. Wiggles playing a bigger role in this solo lane.
There's a driving strike forcing Chunga away, but I think you're exactly right. I mean, look at the damage potential from Return right now. It's going to be 3 physical. Bakasura, Apollo, who's been doing very well in his lane, keeping his farm up. Any rotation would be huge there. And of course, Hercules. Now you look at the damage from Agni. If you come late to the fight and all the bombs are down, Agni is not a big burst character. And so that's the only real source of magic damage he's going to be feeling. Athena is very, few and far between in her sources of magical damage. And so with that Breastplate of Valor, not only would she have high amounts of protection from the main damage sources she's taking, but also have the CDR. So definitely a strong pickup, but instead going for the Divine Ruin, going to prevent the healing done from Hercules in the lane, and then possibly a little bit of the healing from Apollo if he gets deep in the fight himself. But right now we're sitting 7 minutes into the game, 3-0, no answer from Return just yet, and at the same time, Resist is seated higher than Return.
That's right. I mean, they have had a stronger earlier weeks. What I'm looking at here is we really haven't seen too much from Kumbhakarna just yet.
Yeah, that's right. The initiation has been a little weak, but again, he is a slightly slower character, and so waiting for him to get all the way across the map, and it seems like Return is not really giving him any opportunities.
So, Drybear, we're getting closer to the end of the laning phase here, or at least maybe towards the middle of it.
Right.
Not a lot of pressure into objectives yet.
Right, I mean, the Gold Fury is not really an option for them just yet, but the towers are something they're going to be looking at. The tower on the left side has been yet to take any damage. Right tower has yet to take any damage either as Boxer comes through. The mid caps are really the main point of focus here, and so far they've gone the way of Resist. Of course, the pressure has been huge in the mid lane. 1,000 gold separate these two teams right now as Resist has first, second, and third blood without a kill coming out of Return just yet. Kumbhakarna's in the jungle looking for initiation on Apollo over here, but again, like we were mentioning 2 games ago or a game ago, Apollo's quite safe if he's left alone in this lane to his own devices. Hercules is defending his tower quite adamantly as well. Checking in Bakasura, his gold is falling down quite a lot. He's pretty close to the amount of gold that the support has, and you gotta look to see if he can keep up as the gank comes in the mid lane looking for Agni. Can't find it. Stun coming down though on Mercury, forcing away. The bomb comes out. Bakasura ultimate as well. The huge damage comes through. Going for the Kumbhakarna as well. Gonna force his passive down. No looks he's gonna escape on that one, but a big burst turnaround on Mercury. That was their initiation, but it was also their death.
Well, Skilodon, I think, has been a fair force in the game up until this point, either way. I mean, the damage he's been putting forth, the potential of ganks, he has just been everywhere around the map. I mean, that's how we saw the kill go down in the left lane. We just need to see more control. I mean, they have a very controlling team. They have portals, they have Boar. I mean, they have to be smart.
Good ult there from Chunga, keeping Hercules in place, and of course that portal forced him down to the ground, and that banish was enough. Agni in the mid lane might be rotated on here. There goes the damage forcing him away, but they don't really have any other ultimates available to use. Giannis ultimate through space, and Tim was being shot out there, and of course the Chunga ultimate Waxing Moon was brought out as well. So Mercury priming an ultimate here, looking for a follow-up on Agni, gonna get it. Special Delivery gonna come through as well. There goes the Purification Beast, the stun comes through. Mercury putting himself in a tough spot here as the portal comes down on the ground.
Alright, so Drybear, I just don't see where Athena has been. I mean, she used the Defender of Olympus, but where has she been all game? I mean, she's not getting those big taunts off. She's not getting those big shield wall hits. They're not utilizing Athena effectively. They're not using Across the Sky effectively. They're letting that global presence, it seems, go to waste.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think they're missing out a lot of opportunities to farm as well, though they are starting to keep up. Actually, in the lead right now as they're forcing away the Gold Fury going down was a big difference for them. Actually, looks like it went to Return instead of Resist Gaming, so it was stolen away, the Gold Fury. Big pickup there as the mid camps go down in favor of Return as well. The gold is much in their favor. 1-4, that's going to clear the gap, and now Return is in the lead. No towers falling just yet. A lot of pressure coming out, but it looks like Mercury is just going too deep for his own good.
This has been something that we've talked about a lot, and that's just, the power of farm. Now, sure, with the Gold Fury, they're going to spike everything into their favor, but even before that, given the fact that they were down 3 kills, they really weren't that far behind. And now Return has a clear push into the next part of the game. You take a look at the board here, and they just have the level advantage. Like, straight up, I mean, they have that 1 level advantage, and considering they were behind by so much, the fact that they were able to keep themselves in the game is huge. But you look at late game potential, and it's going to be very hard. I mean, we have Rafiki to shut down, mitigate wounds, making Hercules not able to dive towers. You're going to have Apollo versus Artemis, which could really go either way, but then you have Mercury versus Bakasura. Bakasura, a character that notably falls off heavily in the endgame, whereas Mercury is considered a major hyper carry.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the damage he's able to do late game, and I think no matter how many times I go against Mercury, it still surprises me. He just goes into late game, it's like he punched me twice. I was just standing there for a second. The damage he's able to do, I mean, the crits are huge. The high mobility allows him to get very, very close. And I think, I play a lot of Hunter, and so, if you don't pick up Purification Beads or you don't have it available when Mercury jumps on it, it's more often than not you're going to go down with the late game damage he's able to put out here. And so, playing for the late game is a great strategy for Resist with the lineup that they have, especially with Janus, who's going to start dropping a large amount of damage if he's ever able to get that double unstable Vortex hit, which, with his team, it's pretty easy to set up.
I want to see more big rotations coming out from through space and time, though. I mean, using those portals to allow his team to rotate into major objectives, I mean, that's something we're really going to be looking for in the mid-game.
Mid-game is fast approaching here as we cross over the 10-minute mark. The Fire Giant is alive and well, spawns at 10 minutes into the game, and crawls on out of his hole. Looking at atomization here, we're going to see Bancroft's Talon started here for Janus. Going to get a lot of damage and also some lifesteal out of that one. Unseen Death on Artemis, finish off the Devourer's Gauntlet, now going straight into boots across the way. Apollo is on the same path here, but does have the same itemization here for active items as well, both Purification Beads and Sprint on either one of those. Bancroft's Talon almost on Agni on top of that, so everyone is pretty much mirrored here.
Cloud rotates over to try to hold the lane as Homifi comes over. You're going to see that Rafiki has taken a little bit of damage, but shouldn't have too much trouble healing it back up with just a Moonflower Dance or two. But he might be in some trouble here. He goes for the Earthbreaker. He's able to dodge and actually send some damage back his way as well. So it looks like the health is now even as well.
Clean cut for him there. Mid lane being pushed up heavily by Mercury as Agni is waiting in tow. Janus has returned to the lane as the Noxious Fumes are used to push in this case. A little known trick that a lot of people who play Agni don't use, just using those fumes without igniting them. The left side looking for follow-up here on Artemis. The stun's going to go on Artemis. Athena is going to be forced to use her ultimate here. Does she have enough HP to get away? It looks like she does indeed. Right side Hercules taking some damage himself as Boxer heads over for the gank on Chang'e.
Yeah, he's going to try to look for something, but she notices him thanks to the ward placement and just hides back under her tower. Bakasura looking for something to not make this trip a waste, but so far he hasn't been able to find anything. Baka now maybe looking for a jump here. This could be dangerous.
I don't like the fact that Boxer's been doing this most of the game. He's been setting up a lot of ganks that have not been fruitful, and it's going to make him lose a lot of golden experience. Left tower now being pushed up in the meantime. Knowing the Boxers across the map, they're free to push this here. Great Serenade by Apollo, preventing the sleep. The mighty yawn from Kumbhakarn. Initiation coming out from Athena. There goes the sleep. Mercury ultimate is primed. Going to go right into the jungle to disengage. Bombs from Agni. Good Purification Beach usage. There goes the Unstable Vortex hitting the Athena. The damage. The taunt doesn't land either. Great plays across the board, but Bakasura's in.
Yeah, Bakasura also goes up, but he finds a kill first. Cloud going to take some damage, and it looks like Giz is just going to be in a lot of trouble here as there's 5 people pushing them down. Now, there's no Gold Fury up, which means they're not going to be able to get something huge off this, but that's still a 2-man swing right away for Return.
Good play there by Mr. Wiggles on Bakasura as well. His damage is definitely scaling. He looks like he's rushing the Fatalis, so once he has that complete, he'll be able to keep up with everyone, doing damage left and right. Jumping in the mid lane is Mr. Wiggles. Janus from over the wall with that portal activation. Gold Fury's going to be responding shortly, DM, and so, it's on Resist right now to get it.
Realistically, right now, Resist needs to answer back. I mean, they were winning by a fair amount, and now they're 1,000 gold, down 2,200 experience as well. I mean, Mr. Wiggles has really answered back. He died immediately, 0-2, and a lot of Bakasura players out there would have recognized, like, wow, Baka behind, like, this is not going to end well, but he's really just transformed as the game has gone on and become a major force for the team.
Right side, Hercules pushing up against Chang'e here, forcing her back to the tower. Both solo laners are spending a lot of time defending these towers, and this may be a bit of a downfall. They're certainly getting a lot of gold out of it, but a lot of fights are taking place around them where they're not really able to leave the lane and participate. And so we'll see if that affects anything going into the mid game here, as we have a 1,000 gold lead for return right now. Boxer defending the mid lane up against the Kumbhakarna push here, and both hunters are going head to head on the left side of the map. It seems to be pretty stable as the time rolls on.
Yeah, 14 minutes deep. I mean, we're still seeing, I think both teams have some growing pains. Early game, we saw Wiggles go down a lot. Mid game, we're starting to see Resist pick things back up, but at the same time, Return has been answering pretty hard. I mean, it's 3-4. It started off 0-3, and now Famous Hate, you're going to see on the bottom side picking up the blue buff. He's going to have a chance to go and get some free farm here as Artemis is splitting with Kumbhakarna.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a little bit interesting, right? Because you see that the hunters are coming through there, and Kumbhakarna comes back over to help. Augie's going to find Kumbhakarna. His passive is on cooldown. Keep that in mind. Giannis, good threshold there to give a boost to his teammate, and also a slow to anyone that follows through. That ability is so much better than people give it credit for.
So, we haven't really been highlighting Janus a lot here. He has a lot of damage potential. I mean, we saw what happened to Athena when she rushed forward. Still, he wasn't really able to answer back. But Clumsy Death has done a good job so far this game of just making sure his team has control at least of the mid lane. Left side, Artemis is doing a lot of damage to this tower. You saw before, Apollo had a great defense, especially with Athena's rotation. Penyumba got the taunt off, which eventually resulted in a kill. But I'm surprised to see Artemis not just really rushing this tower down.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a single shot, and obviously the 500 gold not going to make that big of a difference, but the space control around the Gold Fury is going to be the biggest thing for them. Like you mentioned, map control is so huge, and the Gold Fury already back up means that any kind of change in the map, a pick or anything otherwise, will allow them to take that Gold Fury down and add more money to their total lead here. Artemis now still pressure up against the Apollo on the left side. Mr. Wiggles taking a portal in the mid lane as they head over toward the mid camp, about to respawn here. It's not a lot of gold, but it's certainly something you don't want to give away to the enemy team, and I feel like we're doing a lot of hurry up and wait here.
Yeah, but to your point, I mean, I'd much rather split the mid camp 4 ways than have the enemy team get it at all.
That's right.
And that's what the rotation is. They're just using everything they can to get every point of gold off the map as fast as possible. And now you're going to see rotations over towards the Gold Fury. A few people trying to go over towards that right camp, which is now about to respawn, but they can't afford to give up 90 gold, or rather take 90 gold and give up 1,500.
That's exactly right. I mean, they do not want to give anything up at all, but trading gold in this situation is not going to be a good thing. 3 bombs in the mid lane towards Giannis, forcing him away. He's actually going to head home, it looks like. Very low on HP. That is going to buy some space control here for return around the Gold Fury. Athena ultimate being activated a little bit early there. Obviously could have been saved, and she could have started walking, but she's going to use it just to get to the Gold Fury. Taking it up here. Initiation coming out. Kumbhakarna, they're going to leash it away, actually. Double talk coming through. Hercules behind this. Boxer with the crippling. Kumbhakarna can't dash away. Merc ultimate through 3, though, as he follows up looking for some damage on the backside. Chang'e coming into the fight as well. There goes the heal. The initiation is going to be enough to force them back, but they already lost 1 there. Unseen Death going down to the top end. That's a lot of single target damage.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to get a lot of damage there, but realistically, no. That was really, really smart. Cloud looking for a lot here. He's completely baited. Beads over the portal. He's going to take a lot of damage here, but Return is not ready to let it go. Double driving strike, taking some damage. Aegis Pendant allowing him to move out, and they will miss this so beautiful as Famous Hate will be stuck in place. Realistically, a 1-for-0, despite, I think, one of the hardest, most aggressive team fights we've seen in this tournament today.
Well, that was one of the most aggressive initiations by Ogni. I mean, watching that Mercury Aegis right before you drop the bomb, then dashing into the tower. If he hadn't picked up that Purification Beads activation right as you walked over that portal, it could have been curtains for him. So that was a pretty good initiation for both teams actually across the board. You can see the teams are relatively close in gold. 1,200 in favor of Return at 18 minutes is not a whole lot. It certainly is not anything to write home about, but not really anything to laugh at either, as Resist is going to be feeling that difference as they go into those 1v1 engagements, 2v2 engagements. The small skirmishes is where the small gold numbers make a big difference here. Gold Fury is still alive and well. Neither team was able to clear that one out in the process. And honestly, again, it's a lot of careful steps by both teams.
So about 18 minutes into the game right now, neither team has a major, I think, foothold over the match right now. You're seeing a grouping over on the right side. Homie taking some damage, special delivery. I don't like the pressure onto Hercules, especially with Wiggles there. Nice big hit from Waxing Moon, gonna hit 3, but it's still a 2v3, closer to 2v5 as we're seeing rotations come over. Cloud getting some more damage done. Will he find the last bomb? And Skeleton goes down.
Nice combo there. Blink into the double, triple ultimate following through. Unstable Vortex coming through, charging the ultimate. Gonna hit it. Gonna get on the backside. Cloud going down. The command mail will strike. Kumakarna looking for the follow-up here on Bakasura. Wiggles is on his way out, looking for the groggy strike. Gonna miss it, actually. Turning the last second. Hercules driving strike back into the tower as the Apollo dunks down from above. The portal is on the ground, but Cloud hitting that ultimate across the way, getting the kill. It's gonna turn out to be a 1-for-1 exchange.
So more pressure coming through, and now we saw Skeleton go down. Cloud gets answered for immediately, still 5-5. I would really give that one to Resist. I mean, they were able to get a much bigger target overall, and Cloud being level 16. Skeleton's already up. They have 10 more seconds without Agni, which means we're probably going to see a fight at the Gold Fury.
Gold Fury started up here already. They had the space control on the left side of the map. Artemis is there. Giannis is starting up, but here comes the Athena ultimate. Apollo is in the area. Will they leash it around? Looks like they're going to leash this away. Kumbhakarn's still holding on to it. They're wasting a lot of time on that as they're backing off. The wards are on the ground, waiting for an opportunity to come back in on this one. Mercury coming through as well, completely leashed and reset.
I'm surprised to see not a bigger push here coming out from Resist. They really needed to take this to be able to put themselves back, and if they all back here, as we just saw 2 members of Resist go, Return should be able to pick this up with little issue.
Oh, looks like they're going to head on home here. Athena on her way back. Mid tower is under pressure from Cloud as he tries to clear this one out. The back Harpies are being cleared out as well. The gold is still relatively even. Nothing really forced out just yet. Kumbhakar with the a good sleep there. Purification beats activated from Cloud, getting out of dodge, not wanting to get caught out completely there. The Gold Fury is still available, and Resist is making another shot at it as they run right into it.
They're actually pretty uncontested here. Will they have the damage potential? Athena's still not in the neighborhood. Bakathur gets portaled. And actually, he's pretty mad about that. He's going to jump in. Good double stun coming out from Agni. Waxing Moon's going to hit too. And you're going to see Penyama take a lot of damage there. Giz could be in some trouble. He's moving forward despite being pretty low. And again, will miss Epic Uppercut. And the damage will come through from Famous 8. They're trying to burn it off. Will the Sleepy be good enough? And it looks like it will be.
Girls are coming through there, forcing them back. Special delivery is available. It doesn't have the distance to clear here as we see the backpedaling coming out in the mid lane from Hercules. Actually, does great boulder from over the wall. Now, of course, that is not available. 4 players, 5 players now from Resist grouping up the mid lane. Can they defend this tower? Honestly, it's not even worth defending. You can see them resonating that in their own minds. They back off entirely, not wanting to defend that 500 gold tower. Gold Fury going down here. Resist is sitting at almost 46,000 gold, nearly 2k ahead of Return here as they head over the right side of the map, looking for another tier 1 tower. More gold added to the total numbers there for them. 2 players rotating over. Athena is hot in tow here, looking for a reaction, maybe to make sure that tower doesn't go down, but indeed it will. Gold is climbing very quickly for Resist.
More pressure right side. Rafiki is able to go back. Unseen Death is back. Skeleton is back. Clumsy Death returns as well as Giz is in the jungle, just ensuring that the defense is there. They want to make sure they don't go for this. And right now, Return might have a small opportunity, but if they take it and they lose this, it will spell curtains. But Resist in that last fight, thanks to the Gold Fury, will take back their lead at 2,100 gold. And the experience difference has been normalized at only 100. And at this point in the game, that is rather irrelevant.
Mid tower pushed up here. Janus is going to defend it for the time being. It's going to come down to the next big pick. Who makes the next mistake? Could be Artemis on the left side as she tries to get away from this one. Will they dive the tower? Looking at the map, they don't really have any covers, but of course they don't have vision, the same vision that we have. Double Polynomicon on the right side. Resist is going to have a Polynomicon of both Chunga as well as Janus here, interestingly enough. We're going to have the Sovereignty completed, and looks like Hide the Urchin is on its way for Kumbhakarn here, making sure he has the coverage that he absolutely needs across the way. Fatalis completed, and it looks like Chin Sai is going to be the next choice, or possibly Executioner for Bakasura.
Either one will be pretty strong. I'm going to imagine it's going to be the Chin size. I mean, that's
right.
Just generally a lot of damage. But Bakasura being able to use the Executioner to build up stacks for Homie would be big, but we already have an Executioner on Famous Hate, meaning they can stack them up faster, but they won't actually stack beyond the 3 normal applications that it gives.
Artemis coming through here, pushing out the left side. Mercury's on his way. Looks like Apollo's going to spot it out and head back towards his very, very, very weak tower. It's about to sneeze away. Oh, he doesn't see it just yet. Merc's on the way. Special delivery's going to miss, actually, as he runs upward, then dashes downward. Smart play by Apollo, but a little bit of a misstep by Skillion as well.
More pressure coming through in the mid lane as you see Giz is going to get turned on here. Might be some trouble. Earthbreaker's going to find it. Driving Strike's going to miss, and the yawn will be good as Wiggles gets sent to sleep.
Mid lane, conditioning coming between the two. Looks like a Hunter fight is going down. Artemis is actually taking a lot of damage here. The volley's going to miss as well. Unseen Death is missing a lot of skill shots and basic attacks on Apollo. Not a good trade.
Yeah, I don't think that was dodging. I mean, Famous Hate was really just backpedaling. Artemis just was not resetting. Unseen Death just missing a ton of shots. Very uncharacteristic from him. Usually a fairly accurate player.
Want to see Agni heading home here. What will he finish off is the question. Looks like he has his Spear to the Magus done here. A lot of penetration between his boots and that spear. Also has Bancroft down for health. Looks like it's going to be a chin size there for the hit there. Looks like they're going to be forcing that away. Chin sides is completed for Bakasura. Magi's Blessing is almost done for the Athena. A little bit different than across the way with the Hide of the Urchin being picked up by Kumbhakarn. We do see Mercury looking for that Rage and completing it. Attack speed is a little bit low, but does have that built-in attack speed with his own kit. Of course, the maximum velocity will provide a lot of extra movement speed and attack speed for himself. We see Athena rotate over to the mid lane, try and compare this and make sure this tower, tier 2 tower, isn't under pressure at all. Again, a lot of hurry up wait between these two teams. Both teams are kind of treading lightly, right? They don't want to force any fights that are bad. They don't want to lose anything early. They know this is a single elimination. This is the best of one matchup they have in the round of 16. And any small misstep could be Fire Giant and 2 towers and then a Phoenix, and all of a sudden it's just way too much for them to deal with here. As they do see on the right side, Hercules is pushing up, and they're going to be forcing that forward and clearing out the minions, and now looking for an opportunity to rotate back over to the mid lane. Chang'e is standing by for the next team fight opportunity. Bakasura is coming through, looking for any kind of gank opportunity. I'm surprised this tier 1 tower left side is still standing.
Realistically, it seems that Resist isn't pushing their advantage. I mean, they really have a strong hold right now at the 25-minute mark, and they're not using it. They're not baiting objective fights. They're not using their level advantage, especially considering Clumsy Death at level 19 right now with Polynomicon, Bancross, and Obsidian Shard could basically two-shot somebody. They're not using it effectively. I want to see them bait the Fire Giant fight, use those portals to get across the map. I mean, just do something aggressive, because they're playing way too defensively, and if they keep it up this way, they're going to lose their lead.
Well, they keep the opportunities in windows as well. Here's another one. Gold free being started up by Return. Resistance in the area as Hercules is looking to follow up here. They might cluster on Hercules, and honestly, that's not really ever a good strategy. Initially on Hercules first and trying to take him down. He's very durable.
More pressure coming out right now in the mid lane. You're seeing a major grouping of everyone as the Resist rotates back over. It looks like they're maybe going to start the Gold Fury here.
Gold Fury is a point of contention for both teams, but they're both kind of hesitant to do it. They don't really want to start it up with the other team in the area, but at the same time, they're missing out on a lot of opportunities to clear farm. You see 2 waves stacking up the right side of that map. That tier 2 tower for Return is about to be pushed in. Buffs are still standing in the jungle for Resist. These are the back harpies there for Return, so good clear there. Waiting for the next initiation to start up. We just have 27 minutes into the match. Looking at the gold numbers, we're going to see about a 2K lead here for Resist. Some damage coming on Kumbhakarn. Again, using a lot of abilities and cooldowns to do damage to the supports or the very durable Hercules on both sides of the map, and really not anything gained just yet. Artemis now pushing the left side up against Apollo. Honestly, I'd like to see Apollo just commit to a split push and try to force a zone.
Right camp is about to spawn. You're going to see Bakasura in the bottom side use his Hand of the Gods to go for red buff. I don't know how I feel about this split here, but they don't really have... Actually, they do have the ward coverage. This should be the Gold Fury right now for Resist, or at least a start. And again, they're not using their advantage. They just gave Bakasura a free trip to the opposite side of the map. And that's where I think some of the 8th to 12th seeds are a little bit weaker. If this was a Team Dignitas or the Game Changers, they would have taken a Gold Fury and a tower for Bakasura's clear arrogance there. But Resist just doesn't have the confidence to go for the pressure they really need.
Yeah, that's right. You really have to have a lot of experience as well and have that gut feeling of how long it would take you to do the objective and how much time you really have before they group up again. And right there was a clear opportunity. We're actually seeing Mercury start up the Gold Fury in the middle of Athena's vision here. A little bit split up in the mid lane. They're looking for the opportunity. The taunt's going to come out here. Good sleep. Hand of the Gods. Resist gets to the Gold Fury, but a fight breaks out here looking for Athena on the backside. Groggy Strike primed up. Going to hit no one there as Audi comes in. The stun's going to land. Mercury priming the ultimate. Looking for the initiation. Will it be enough to get the fight started off early? Boxer comes in. The damage is going to be real here. Forcing Boxer out. The Rock comes out from Hercules as well. There goes the Mercury ultimate coming in the backside. Now trying to follow up there. Major look gets a kill. Double kill for Skillydon. Now looking for the third kill. The punches are coming out here. Apollo with the Serenade. Now looking for the follow-up. The EJ will buy time. So Beautiful is not going to land there. And now Apollo is all by himself. He's got nowhere to go. They're going to die together. The Major look gets the third kill. Unofficial triple kill there for Skillydon. The left tower is still standing. A big swing for Resist, finally hitting home.
You know, it's funny because we take a look at the player damage. 17k coming out from Rafiki. 12k, almost 13 coming out from Clumsy. Death Unseen, almost about 14. We're seeing Skillydon 13.5, and then poor little Kumbhakarna at 2,500 flat. But he doesn't need it. I mean, look what Kumbhakarna was able to do there. He forced out 2 Agni Bombs right in the beginning, taking almost no damage. Got a huge yawn off, and then moves his entire team over towards the right side, tanks up the Fire Giant, and now Resist has the chance to end this game.
And then something that we were talking about in the early stage of this match, DM, is the fact that Mercury has that hyper carry status that, you know, if the game goes on long enough, he's going to hit to the point where just a single major look will drop a third, a fourth, even a half of your HP. And of course, if he gets close enough, the punches are going to be too much for them to deal with. And I think Resist has just been playing the long game. Now, they didn't go for the Watcher's Gift long game, but certainly a long game similar. And looking for that kind of initiation in the beginning with the gold gain is going to be enough to get Mercury to that point. He's level 20 right now. He's going to be sitting at 12.9k gold overall, which it looks like it's going to be the most in the game overall. Definitely a great start for him. And now he's picking up, not only after a full crit with Rage Deathbringer, it looks like he's going to go for some lifesteal, so he's going to be able to sit in and box a little bit longer.
So, 30 minutes deep right now, right? Fire Giants available. I mean, they have a lot of pressure to put forth. This should be more than just the tier 2 here. With the grouping that they have, with the potential of damage they have with 2 huge hyper carries, a healer, and one of the tankiest characters in the game, this should be pretty much every objective on the map, so long as they play it aggressively. Less damage, more yawns, more objectives, and as much pressure as possible.
Defending this mid tower is Return, but Resist is hot in pursuit here. The tower's gonna take a lot of damage from Artemis to the backside. Double taunt coming out. There's the sleep from Kumbhakarna. They go great Waxing Moon on 3. Giannis only gonna hit 2 there. This epic uppercut bring him right down to the ground. Gonna keep him in the fight. The crit from Skillydon's gonna be enough to take out Athena. That's a big start for them. Now looking for the Hurricanes. Driving Strike's gonna come through here, but the mitigate wounds is not gonna keep enough to keep him from bleeding out there as we see Apollo and Agni run back to the base. The tower goes down and the right tower will fall shortly. Resist is looking sharp.
I'm surprised to see them go for the tier 2 here instead of the Phoenix, but all tier 2s have been removed. 11,000 gold in favor right now of Resist as they move forward. Return having some trouble without some of their star players from the previous weeks, and now they're going to lose their first Phoenix rotation coming into the mid lane. Resist going to go for the second Phoenix, and poor Mr. Wiggles is going to be stuck against a whole lot of resistance.
Man, that threshold there from Giannis is giving them so much movement speed. They're able to get from tower to tower very, very quickly. And honestly, that's making a big difference for them. And again, like was mentioned earlier, it is an ability that is very underrated in the game right now. Threshold, not only applying, of course, the movement speed buff to him and his teammates and stacks for Giannis himself, but also is going to be something that reduces the movement speed for anyone else. And so because of that, he's able to lead his team across the map. The ultimate gives him portals and his team portals to move around very quickly. And they just took out 3 towers in a row, plus 3 Phoenixes in a row. That was a 6-tower swing after getting Fire Giant. They just swooped the entire map. And previously, when we had a 2,000 gold lead and we were waiting very patiently for the next fight to start, all of a sudden we have a 14,000 gold lead for Resist, and all 3 Phoenixes down. When is the last time you ever saw a team come back from 3 Phoenixes down?
The launch tournament.
And that's it.
But, you know, not to be dissuasive, but there's a far cry difference between Return and Cognitive, especially not maybe just in the picks and bans here. There's not a lot that Bakasura can do at this point. I mean, he has an entire ability dedicated to not team fighting. I mean, Eat Minion doesn't give him anything. He has every point of damage that he has to do is basically in melee range, so he can't bait. And Famous Hate at this point is just getting picked off every time. Homie Fee has his healing reduced time after time as we're going to see them push in. It looks like they're going to go for the end here.
Titan is under pressure. The damage coming out here. Paul's up in the air. The rock will come through here. There goes Artemis getting killed off. The Titan is dropping very, very low. Skill gets killed on Mr. Wiggles. Then on Athena, double kill. Dashing away. The Titan's on aggro here, but that's going to be enough to take him down. They get the double kill on the end. The Titan will fall and now Resist, after a very long stalemate in the mid of the game, skyrockets into the lead and takes the game in just under 5 minutes or so once they got that small lead in front of the Gold Theory, and all went downhill after that. A big pickup for them. And look at the numbers here. They definitely deserve it. And honestly, given the fact that, Return was 8th seed and Resist was 9th seed, this is actually going very, very well for Resist. I'm excited to see them in the rest of the tournament.
Oh, look, Chang'e was top damage. I love Chang'e. Did you know that?
Do you want a high five? We can high five.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we did it.
Oh, did we do it? I did that
it was close. It was close. I went past your hand. But...
Skeledon having a huge game there. 8-2-4, setting the pace in the beginning. Clumsy death on Janus. 4-0-7 with the new god. Almost 20,000 damage in tow as well. Great rotations. They finally started using those abilities as best they can. But the Waxing Moons, I think, is what really turned everything around. Constantly forcing beads. This was absolutely big. We're going to cut to a quick break, right, guys? We'll be back with our next round, which I'm pretty sure is going to feature
5 Game Changers. And Game Changers. That's right. In the round of 8, definitely an exciting matchup to watch. Dignitas is also competing against Resist. Cog will be facing up against Torch, and then Snipe will be waiting for the results of Critosaurus and Synergy. And then we'll be right underway with the next match. Stick around. We'll be right back.